Hi. Well, it's been a full 2 weeks 2 weeks and 4 days now since I had the double jaw surgery to correct the underbite that I had. It's been a really long journey, to be honest. The 2 weeks haven't flown by at all. Like, it feels like an eternity since I had the surgery. The surgery itself was a 5 hour operation, and it took the full 5 hours. I was meant to be in at 9 o'clock in the morning to have the surgery. However, you're not meant to eat or drink. I believe it's 6 hours beforehand. And I'd stupidly had a glass of water because I literally thought water would be okay, but it wasn't. So luckily, because they could have cancelled the surgery for that day. Luckily, they had someone else that could operate on to let me, because you need to fast, where your body's kind of got no food or no liquid sort of inside you, so that when you put under anaesthetic, there's a minimal chance of anything to go wrong. So thankfully there was someone else that they could quickly do what I had to go back to the ward to completely fast. So I didn't end up having my operation until about 11 o'clock, so it was like a 2 hour wait that I had. Obviously I don't remember it at all. I remember sort of lying outside the theatre, and then obviously the anaesthetic kicked in, nothing, and then I remember waking up afterwards, and it was absolute agony for the first sort of 24 hours I was in hospital. I absolutely hated it. I was under a lot of painkillers. I remember having constant sort of nosebleeds. I remember sort of coughing up blood all the time. Just obviously all the work that they've done, there's a lot of blood, and apparently it just stays in your stomach. And so I remember kind of almost like being sick, sort of blood like retching all the time, and I just hated it. And the swelling was, the surgeon said the swelling wasn't sort of that bad at all compared to some other patients that he had. Like, I remember going on the internet and seeing pictures of people whose faces were literally out to here. So I'm very glad I wasn't one of those people, but it was still quite substantial. And I remember sort of like the first couple of days, like looking in the mirror in the hospital, thinking, God, was it really worth it? Because it was quite bad. I remember you look completely different, obviously, straight away. So it's just such a change, and you don't recognise yourself in the mirror, which is really hard to kind of come to terms with. Um, I I was in hospital for two nights it was, and the nights were hell. I remember getting no sleep. I remember coughing up blood through the night and things like that. Even though I had loads of painkillers injected in my hand, I was still in pain. I was feeling sick all the time. I just wanted to go home. Eventually, I went home on day 3. Um, Unfortunately, as well, where the stitches are located, they're in the side of your mouth and your cheeks, and there's stitches up here where they make the cuts. And unfortunately, the one up here, in hospital, I tried to pull out because I didn't know what they were, and that was absolute agony. Sort of the pain around here was absolute hell. Um, so anyway, all that happened. So it was just a horrendous 48 hours that I was trying to forget it as much as possible. Um, However, when I got home, the first, again, it was about up until day 5 after the surgery. It was absolute hell. I just hated it. I didn't really like the way I looked. The swelling was still substantial. I just remember thinking, like, God, was it worth it? The worst thing, sort of, when you get home is you can't really do a lot. You're so tired from all the anaesthetic you've had inside you. You're in pain. You can't eat at all because you get the elastics on your teeth, so you can't eat. You can't really do anything. So like even little things that I couldn't be bothered to sort of to go on, like to play on the PlayStation or things like that. Like, you just can't be bothered to do anything. So I'm just sort of sitting watching the TV all the time. And sometimes just sitting doing nothing until I'm just staring at 4 walls. So the boredom really does get to you. That is like the worst thing, because like I even had work to do for university, but I couldn't even be bothered to open a book and have a read just because you're just so tired all the time. However, after the first week or so, I noticed a huge difference in the swelling. It had gone down quite a lot, and so it's good to kind of every day I would notice a slow change in the shape of my face, and it started to make everything all worth it. So yeah, that was a good thing. Food wise, because of the elastics on you, you will pretty much get elastics in your teeth straight away after. They're not wires, it's literally an elastic band, like a few elastic bands that they put on your teeth just to finalise everything and to make sure everything is finished off nicely and that everything is aligned properly. Because unfortunately, after the operation, they noticed I had a slight gap on that side and no gap on that side, so they're trying to put the elastics on to correct that. So that's why I've got the elastics on my teeth. I had them on now for the whole time, so 2 weeks and 4 days I had these elastics on. No idea when I'm going to get them off. Um, because it just depends as to when that gap kind of closes up, and they're a nightmare. I mean, like if I show you now, that gap is literally all I've got, so it's literally enough to fit a straw in. Like literally, this is what your life becomes. Everything just becomes blended. And you've got no idea. Sort of food is everywhere. I mean, on the TV, Facebook, you just literally, it's because you don't notice it, but like you just see so much to do with food, and you're hungry all the time, which is like that's the worst part for me because I love my food and I've not been able to eat, and all I want is a Domino's or a KFC or something, and I literally can't. Everything literally is worth buying a blender, and everything you have is literally just add water and blend it. So I've been trying to eat as much as possible. However, everything's got to be blended, which is really annoying. I've lost quite a lot of weight as well so far. I've lost about £10. Um, so in 2.5 weeks, which is a little bit frightening, but I'm sure I'll put all of that on when the elastics come off. Um, it was in order to get back to your normal routine and things like that, it does take a good 2 weeks. I mean, I finally got back to the gym, which was a big thing for me because it's a hobby of mine that I like to do, and I finally got back to the gym, which is nice. Obviously, not eating very much, so you've got no energy, and a crucial part of kind of going to the gym is to make sure you eat a lot so that you've got the energy to do things in the gym. So I haven't been going as regularly as often. You've got to slowly, gradually build everything up. I mean, it's a bit of a nightmare, but you just got to do it. You know what I mean? The fact as well that we're in December, obviously Christmas dinner. Like I really want these elastics off before Christmas because I want to try and obviously eat my Christmas dinner. It's like quite hard. Like I don't want it blended. That'll just kind of just ruin it completely. So I'd love it if by Christmas I can get these off. But anyway, overall, I'm really happy with the way it went. The first few days after you had the surgery are a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie. It was the worst pain and the worst sort of like mix of feelings. The sort of like being depressed at the way you look, the pain you're in, the swelling, everything together. It makes you feel just like absolute rubbish, and it's not a nice feeling. It's like the worst. It's like the lowest point I've ever been in my life. But you just got to power through it, and after about a week, it all becomes worth it. In 2 weeks, it definitely becomes worth it. I'm only 2 weeks after the surgery, so like the tiny bit of swelling that I've got left is still probably going to go down. I'll show you now what I look like from the sides. Like it's such a transformation as well. No one, like I remember walking into work just to say hello to people at work. Hardly anyone recognised us. They all said it was such a difference. I had so much support from friends and family. That's honestly like the best thing you can have is support from your friends and family. I got so many nice messages from people asking how I'm doing, wanting to see what I look like now. Like it was so nice. I mean, if you've got a solid group of friends and a solid family who'll kind of look after you, you'll be absolutely fine. And overall, looking back, I'm really happy I did it. So it is worth it. I'll show you from the sides what I look like now. So from the left hand side, and then the right hand side. So I mean, like the transformation is drastic. Um, so yeah, I'm really happy. I'm even going back to work on what day are we on today? It's Saturday. I've got work. I'm starting work again tomorrow. So I mean, literally after about 2.5 weeks, you'll be back to doing what you normally do. So it's not very long at all. Obviously, everybody's different and it's all individual. But for me, it was about 2.5 weeks that I was able to do my normal day-to-day things, which is nice. But I'll do an update video to see if I can eat my Christmas dinner, and I'll let you know how that goes. So yeah, anyone who's thinking about doing it, I do highly recommend it. It's so worth it in the long run. As long as you get through that first week, you'll be absolutely fine.